Hi everyone, welcome to Everyday Manna. Today we are going to be doing a little bit of a different type program. The number one request for recipes that I get are diabetic / low carb / keto style recipes. The reason I say all those three things is because they are interchangeable. There's no such thing as a diabetic diet. The thing is, you got to reduce the carbohydrates. So diabetic, low carb, keto style eating is the number one request that I get now and that I have always gotten. A lot of people need to reduce the carbohydrates that they intake, myself included. So I worked really hard to develop recipes, to come up with ideas and things, and done a ton of research to come up with some recipes that we both can enjoy. Now, I want to start this program out by saying I am not a dietitian. I am not a doctor or a nurse or in any way qualified to give nutritional numbers. So for that reason, I don't give out nutritional numbers on any of my recipes because I'm just simply not qualified. I do a lot of research and I read a lot of information on how to reduce carbs. I go to the professionals. I look at the different websites. I do a ton of research on how to reduce carbs. So I'm going by the experts' advice and creating recipes that we both can eat, that we both enjoy, and that are easy to cook. Let's face it, we all are busy people, and we need recipes that are simple, that are everyday ingredients that we can get in our local grocery store, and that's what I have before you today. Now, I've already prepared this food. The reason is I did a low-carb cookbook. Now, I've done a lot of cookbooks in the past. I don't even know, they're all over there. There's a lot of them. But I've never done one that is strictly low-carb. There are 100 recipes in this book that are all low-carb friendly. There's nothing in here that's difficult. There's nothing in here that you can't do, whether you're a beginner cook or an expert cook. All ranges in between can cook from this book. Now, this book is only available at Living Faith Television, as are all of my cookbooks. This particular one has 100 all low-carb recipes, and it can be yours when you support Christian television. As you know, if you've watched me at all in the past, you know that I do cookbooks solely to support Living Faith Ministries, Living Faith Television. I don't do it for any other reason. So this book is available to you now, starting now. Quantities are limited for a gift of $30 or more to Living Faith Television, and the address and all of the contact information will be on your screen. You can either write, you can call. Just be sure that you say, I want the low carb cookbook, because we don't want there to be any confusion. This is, I like this book. Number one, I think it's beautiful, but I like it because you can lay it flat. I know, I'm a cookbook collector and have been, oh my goodness, for, I don't know, 45 years-ish. I've been cooking as long as I have memory. I grew up in the kitchen with my mother. I remember watching my grandmother cook and helping her. Actually, my earliest memory of cooking is in the kitchen with my mom and my grandmother, my daddy's mom, making chow-chows. But we'll get into that another day. So I've been collecting books for a very long time, and I know what I like and I know what I don't like in a cookbook. I like to be able to lay them flat. When I'm cooking out of them, I don't want to have to come up with something to sit on the edge to hold it down while I cook. So this is one of those that can be laid down flat. There are 100 recipes in here. There are appetizers and beverages, and I'm going to go into the foods that I have. There are soups and salads. There are main dishes. There are side dishes. There are breads and baked goods that you can make low carb, and they're delicious, and I have some examples over here. There are, of course, desserts. I mean, we gotta have desserts. Life is too short to not be able to enjoy eating, to be stuck with a cardboard tasting diet. And I'm here to tell you today that you do not have to eat bland, boring food just because you're taking out the carbs in the food. So let's go over just a couple of the things that we've made today. This is my working copy, so I've got them all marked. The first thing that I did, I love tacos. I adore taco salad. However, if you don't have the low-carb tortillas that you make your own tortilla chips out of, and you can do that, I've created a different recipe that's a taco salad that has a very highly seasoned ground beef mixture. We serve it over, you know, any kind of a salad blend that you like. Toppings are unlimited. You could do, I've just chosen to do shredded cheddar cheese, some salsa, and on that note, and some sour cream. Now, on that note, I want to say to you, you need to, at least until you become familiar with the ingredients, if you're new to this low carb way of eating, or maybe you've been eating, or so you think that way for some time, I'm here to tell you there are a lot of hidden carbohydrates in the foods that you buy at the store. You need to take some time initially, go to the store and read the back of the labels. Let me just show you. Here's the salsa that I bought. On every label will be some kind of carb count, some kind of a nutritional value. A lot of salsas and pasta sauces and just prepared foods in general have a lot of added sugars. So what I did originally, I don't necessarily have to do it so much anymore because I'm very familiar with the brands that I like, but if I see something new, I will always look at the nutritional value. But just take a few minutes and turn those jars around, look at the serving size, look at the carb count. Now, I will say to come up with your net carb value, which is what we want to do, you look at the serving size, and I think on this one it is 2 tablespoons. Yeah, 2 tablespoons of salsa, which is about what that right there is. You need to read whatever the serving size is for the particular product, take the total carb count that's on there. It'll say total carbs. Then somewhere near it, it should say fiber. And whatever that fiber amount is, you subtract it from the total carbohydrates to get, and some people subtract out the sugar alcohols. For me personally, I don't do that. So I just take whatever the total carb count is and subtract out the fiber amount. Let's say this has two carbs, which I know this does have 2 carbs in it. I look at that and I say, okay, 2 tablespoons is 2 grams of carbohydrates. Then it has 1 gram of fiber. So your net carbs is 1. That's how you calculate your total carb number per serving. So this particular one has 1 gram of carbohydrates for 2 tablespoons. So in that whole bowl, I did use about half an onion. Onion has a tiny bit of carbs, but not enough that I don't count them. So for this whole entire bowl, which you would not eat all that, that's 1 gram of carbs. So for a serving size, that's probably about half a gram of carbohydrates. So you can reduce the way that you calculate, or the number of carbohydrates that you are eating. The recipes are all in this book. Everything that's here is in this book. That particular one is taco salad, and it's on page 9. Now, I love salad. I eat salad all the time. So I did a lot of different types of salads and soups. We've got a Brussels sprout salad. We have a Cobb salad, which I absolutely love, Cobb salad. We have a warm bacon coleslaw. We have a warm green salad. We have a spaghetti squash salad. One of my favorite salads is a pasta salad, a spaghetti salad. It's loaded with carbohydrates, so that's not a friendly salad for me to eat. So I have a warm spaghetti squash salad that you can make that mimics the flavors. And the spaghetti squash, when you bake it and you take your knife or fork and you scrape it, it does look like little strands of spaghetti, and it's delicious. So we've got a warm spaghetti squash salad with sun-dried tomatoes and fresh basil and feta cheese. We have a spicy warm cabbage salad. We've got lots of soups in here. We have a meatball soup. We have a cheeseburger soup. We have creamy cauliflower soup, chicken soup with rice. We have a potato soup, lots of different things in this book. So there's the soup and salad section. Now, for vegetable and side dishes, I mean, I love vegetables, but not all vegetables are carb friendly. You need to think about what you're eating. So, you know, greens, this is this salad in here, this is a romaine lettuce and a purple cabbage blend that I just bought from the store. Both of those are extremely carb friendly. So we've got lots of different things in here. You like tater tots? Well, I do too, but they're not carb friendly. Potatoes are not carb friendly. So we've got broccoli tots where you make, you steam up some broccoli and you add some almond flour and some cheese and different spices and things like that. And you make them into little tater tot shapes. We have got some cheesy Brussels sprouts baked. When I was developing this particular recipe here on page 14 for the cheese sticks, who doesn't like the fried cheese sticks that you get in the restaurants that you dip in the marinara sauce? We all love those. Well, the coating on the outsides of those is not carb friendly. It's usually a flour-based coating. So I came up with a different type coating using Italian seasoning, black pepper, some eggs and some Parmesan cheese and some spices and things like that. And I've given you, well, in the book, I cook them, in a shallow pan, fry them in a shallow pan with just some good olive oil, because that's a heart-healthy oil. And I do fry with it, not a like chicken fry, but if I'm just sauteing something, I use olive oil. And then there are some excellent marinara sauces, jarred purchased marinara sauces that have no sugar, but you need to read the labels and find the sauce that you like the most. But I also do this in my air fryer. You can make it up just like this and then put it in and drizzle it with just a little bit, like a teaspoon for the whole recipe of the olive oil. Put it in your air fryer at 400 degrees for about 10 or 15 minutes. Turn them over about halfway. They are fabulous. So you can make them in your air fryer. And these are the fried mozzarella sticks. So easy to do. Lots of different side dishes. Cauliflower mac and cheese. A cabbage stir fry with Indian spices like cumin and different coriander and different things like that. Some fried rice using cauliflower. A green bean casserole that is carb friendly. Turnip fries. I bet you never thought that you could fry turnips. They're fabulous fried. And I've also got some sweet and sour radish recipes in here. So there's, and many others. There are some of the side dishes. We've got lots of different things here that we're going to talk about. But let's watch this together, and when I come back, we'll go through the different foods that I have here for you. Do you eat low carb? Do you need to reduce your glucose level? Are you a diabetic? Do you eat keto? Or are you just simply looking to drop a few pounds and reduce your carbohydrate intake? Well, I have a special book for you. This is the latest Everyday Manna cookbook. It has 100 low-carb recipes in it. It has got appetizers, it has soups, it has salads, it has main dishes, it has vegetables and side dishes. It has those breads and those baked goods that we all love. It also has some desserts, all of which are low-carb, diabetic-friendly, keto-friendly recipes that we can all enjoy. Just because you're reducing the carbs in your diet doesn't mean it can't be delicious. It can be. Get your copy of this book today before it's gone for your gift of $30 or more. All right, now here in front of me is the recipe that's on page 22, and it's bacon-wrapped beef bites. This is so good. You take a big onion, cut it in half, take out the outer big layers, make your ground beef mixture, which we've got all of the ingredients right here on page 22. Then you form your meat into bite size, or like meatball type things. Wrap it in that onion, wrap it in bacon, and bake it in the oven. Wonderful, absolutely delicious, very, very, very low in carbohydrates. There's mushrooms in there, there's different things, there's bacon. What doesn't taste better with bacon? So this is just delicious, and I used ground beef in here, but you totally could do this with ground chicken or ground turkey or ground pork, whatever you want to. Now, here's the big bowl that I know so many people love: buffalo wings. Big, big thing. Buffalo wings are a big love in America. Well, sometimes they're not exactly the most carb-friendly meal, because a lot of times they have a coating on them. And most of the time that coating contains flour. Flour is not carbohydrate friendly. It's just not. Wheat is not. So what this is the flavors of those chicken wings in a meatball. And it is done in the crock pot. You just make your sauce in the crock pot, then you mix your meatball mixture, which has the blue cheese, has a little bit of mozzarella in it just for binding purposes, an egg. It's got some paprika, some garlic, some different, a little bit of celery, because buffalo wings are traditionally served with celery and carrot sticks. Carrots aren't exactly carb friendly, so it's left those out. Dice up some celery. If you don't like celery, you could totally leave that out. A little bit of onion powder, mixed all of those things together. Then and blue cheese, can't forget the blue cheese. Formed it into meatballs, lightly browned them, put it in the crock pot, 2 hours on low, you're done. It's delicious. And you've got your sauce, your blue cheese sauce, or your buffalo wing sauce, which is typically hot sauce with butter. So that's what we did, added a little bit of paprika to it just for some wonderful flavor. And then, just put them out on your serving dish. I sprinkled mine with a little extra blue cheese. You don't have to, because there is blue cheese in the chicken bites. Wonderful. So there are just a couple of different main dish type ideas for you. Now let's get down here to the part that a lot of people think I can't have anymore. Yes, you can. You just have to substitute in some different ingredients and, be conscious of what you're putting in there. And I've done the work for you. I've made a section for breads and rolls. One of my favorite things in the world with a cup of coffee is a blueberry muffin. So, we got to have that blueberry muffin flavor. So that's what's here. These are blueberry muffins. They're very, very good. I've just sprinkled a few extra little blueberries on there. But they've got, almond flour instead of wheat flour. They also have some ground flax meal. Flax seeds that are so healthy and so good for you. Well, you can buy the ground, or you can grind it yourself in a spice grinder. but ground flax meal's also in here, so that's what gives it that nutty flavor and look. So we've got some blueberry muffins here. That recipe is on page 39. You've got some eggs as a binder. You've got heavy whipping cream, some butter. They're fabulous. They are absolutely delicious. And you can make them in your own home in a matter of minutes. So you can still have those muffins. You just have to be conscious of what you are cooking, the ingredients. We've got some pumpkin spice monkey bread muffins. We've got almond muffins. Of course, the blueberry muffins. Pepper jack cheese type muffins, the pepper jack cheese that's great with the Mexican dishes. We've got a broccoli bacon muffin. This is in the breads and rolls section. We have got cinnamon rolls in here. We've got a scone recipe that you make in your slow cooker, a cinnamon loaf, low carbohydrate bread, keto bread, low carbohydrate breadsticks. You know, maybe you're having the spaghetti squash lasagna, or spaghetti squash spaghetti, or zoodles, like the zucchini that we zoodle and make with spaghetti sauce. Well, here's you a low carb breadstick to go alongside that. Crock pot poppy seed bread. We've got cornbread made keto friendly, low carb friendly. We've got a zucchini bread that is very low carb friendly. So there's you a recipe along with many, many others out of the breads. Now let's get to dessert, because I know we all like our desserts. One of my favorite cookies ever are pecan sandies. I absolutely love them with a cup of coffee. I'm a big coffee drinker. If you know me, you know that. I love my coffee. And I like to take my pecan sandies and dip them in my coffee. I shouldn't be eating while I'm taping. Pecan sandies are not carbohydrate friendly. Just saying. They're not. They're delicious, but they're not. But the butter pecan cookie recipe that's on page 53, that's right here, hits all those flavor notes. Hits the wonderful dipped coffee flavor. I like to sprinkle mine. Excuse me, I should not have eaten. Let me just have a sip of my coffee. I like to sprinkle mine before I bake it with a little bit of a flaky sea salt. You don't have to do that, but I think it adds just something special to these cookies. But these are butter pecan cookies that really are delicious. And they're so good for dessert, but they're also really good dipped in your coffee. If you're like me and you like to dip your pecan sandies, they use coconut flour, almond flour, some flax seed meal that bumps up the fiber content that sometimes I think is missing from those low carbs. We do use a sugar substitute. We use some coconut milk, some peanut butter, just for a little bit of something in there. They're really, really good, along with some other ingredients. Simple to make, absolutely simple to make. And you just pat them out. They bake in like 12 minutes-ish, something like that. Really, really good. Absolutely delicious. Then let's go on to one of my favorite, and I didn't mark this one. Why did I not mark this one? Let me find the recipe here. It is on page, this is this one. It's on, well, my goodness, what did I do? It's on page 48, right there. And it's pound cake. I absolutely adore pound cake. It is so good. I'm not a person, never have been a person, that enjoys frosting on cakes. I would much rather have the cake and skip the frosting. So pound cakes are right up my alley. I love them. Well, you know, it's full of sugar. It's full of flour. I mean, it's delicious, but it's not carb friendly. So this is a low carb. Let's go back over here. See that pretty little pound cake? I want to show you the texture in this. This is a pound cake. This is a marbled pound cake. I like to do it where you've got a little bit of the chocolate flavor and you've got the regular traditional pound cake. The chocolate flavor comes from cocoa powder, unsweetened cocoa powder that you take and you mix a little bit of the batter with. This comes together so easy. And I want you to look at the texture of this pound cake. I mean, you would never know that that's not the traditional sugar-laden, carbohydrate-loaded, spike your blood glucose level sky high pound cake. But it's not. It's extremely carb-friendly and extremely good. A little bit of lemon flavor in there. So good, especially with coffee. If you don't want to make the chocolate portion, because I promise you that lemony flavor is fabulous. You really will not miss that chocolate flavor if you want. But those of us that like chocolate want that flavor in there. You can make it as it is in the recipe. If you don't want to, just leave out the cocoa powder and you'll be fine. This has got some butter, almond flour, coconut flour, unflavored protein powder. In your low-carb kitchen, I can't tell you, excuse me, how important it is to have unflavored protein powder, whey protein powder, in your low-carb kitchen, because that helps you to bump up the protein and the bulk and add some structure to your baked goods. One of the hidden ingredients that I think is so important if you're going to go low carb. So we do have a lot of recipes in here that use the protein powder. I've got a slow cooker cream cheese coffee cake in here. I have a snickerdoodle cookie in here, a pumpkin pie, because my two favorite pies in the world are coconut cream pie and pumpkin pie. Oh, so good. The crust, but you got to make that crust a little bit different. I had this at Thanksgiving. I had a traditional pumpkin pie and a low-carb pumpkin pie. Absolutely could not tell the difference. So all of the recipes that you see here, along with many, many more, fluffy coconut cupcakes, coconut pie, snickerdoodle, all of the recipes, along with many more, 100 all low-carb recipes are in this book, and it can be yours today for your gift to Living Faith Ministries of $30 or more. You need to get your copy today because they're going to be gone soon. I can tell you that. They're going to go quick. Thanks for joining with me, and let me know what you think.